What's up everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are new, welcome to my channel, where we try to cover topics that are of interest to you on real estate and mortgages. So please make sure to like, share, tap that bell icon so you get notified anytime I share an informative video. And of course, if you find the information provided is of value, then all I ask you to do is to hit the subscription button to get me motivated to keep you up to date with everything real estate. Hi, my name is Preeti and I am both a real estate broker and a mortgage broker for close to 20 years. Today, I'm here to answer the frequently asked question, how does the HST rebate work with pre-construction homes? I get asked these questions by most of my buyer clients. Do you pay HST on a new build home? Who is entitled to the HST rebate? How is it calculated? And how much is the HST rebate? Stick around as we tackle one question at a time. Now, everyone knows what an HST is, so I'm not going to bore you with all of that. It is included in everything we buy. But since 2010, the HST has attached its sticky little paws in pre-construction properties. Yes, they give us back a minuscule portion of the HST, and that is the HST rebate, but it comes with limitations. And if you are unaware of those limitations, then you are in for a rude awakening. Home buyers exploring the idea of purchasing a pre-construction property are either unaware or often confused about the HST rebate. Today, a lot of buyers are aware that when you buy from a builder, there is always the HST to pay on the new construction. It's this new construction home buying rebate that causes all the confusion. Now, what do you need to understand is that HST rebate is often factored into the purchase price. So, while HST is payable on your new construction, there is actually a credit already built into the purchase price, which saves you from paying all or part of the HST that is due. And getting that credit is contingent to how you intend to use your new home. First things first that you need to know is that there are two types of HST rebate. First, the basic built-in rebate for those purchasers who intend to use the property as their own personal residence or as a residence for an immediate family member who are children, parents, siblings, spouses, or common law partners. These are called the end users. But relatives like uncles, aunts, and cousins unfortunately do not apply. The second type of rebate is when an investor purchases a new construction and they intend to rent out the property. So, to answer the very first question, do you pay HST on a new built home? Yes, you do. And it's not paid separately. It's incorporated into the purchase price. Can you imagine if it was not and we had to pay the HST on such a big purchase separately? Yikes. Question number 2. Who's entitled to the HST rebate? When it comes to the HST rebate, overall, there are 4 scenarios in which you can receive the rebate in Ontario. Both end users and investors purchasing a pre-construction condo or a house. 2. Buyers purchasing a new construction property that has never been lived, an assignment sale. 3. Homeowners who drastically renovated their home. Now, you're renovating your basement or your kitchen, that doesn't apply. Instead, only a head-to-toe transformation that will impact every room in the home is considered eligible for the rebate. Finally, individuals who actually build their home themselves, buy a piece of land and do the construction themselves. But for the purpose of this video, we will only focus on the HST rebate for end users versus the investors. First and foremost, it's critical to know that applying for HST rebate differs depending on whether you plan on actually living in the home yourself or if you're an investor who wants to lease residence immediately after closing as a rental property. Remember, if this property is your principal home from the very get-go, then the builder takes care of the HST rebate portion for you. What that means is that the builder pays the HST rebate on your behalf at closing to CRA and claims it on your behalf from CRA. You just have to sign the dotted line. But if you are the end user and you have bought this property as an assignment sale, then the onus of paying that rebate portion at the time of closing and claiming that rebate portion from CRA falls on your shoulders. If you plan on moving in and living in the new property, you must apply for the new home rebate after the deal closes. Of course, you have to fork out the money first to then claim it back, but you will receive the HST rebate based on the fact that you or a blood relative will occupy the new property as the principal residence, for at least the first year. If the new property is sold before the initial 1-year window, CRA will require you to pay back the HST rebate in full, which can add up to as much as $30,000. Do whatever you have to, just do not sell the unit before the 1 year is up. And it's 1 year from registration of the property, not the occupancy, when it comes to condos. Lastly, the key factors to remember for the end user is it's critical to take all the steps in claiming the new home as your principal residence, including changing your address on your driver's license, your bank accounts, your credit cards, and notify CRA online. Please do not procrastinate on this. A small step like this will save you from a CRA audit. Now, let's talk about the investors. Whether you're a Canadian or a foreign investor, you're still eligible to receive the HST rebate on a new home. However, rather than filing for a new home rebate, you must apply under the new residential rental property rebate. That was a tongue twister. Oh well, moving on. Under this program, you must provide a 1-year lease agreement in order to prove the new home will be rented to a tenant for at least 12 months after closing. If the investor flips the property before the 1-year window closes, the HST rebate is no longer viable and the taxes must be paid in full. Similar to the assignment sale for the end user, investors who file for the new residential rental property rebate must pay the entire HST upfront and will receive the rebate around 2 or 3 months after proof of lease of agreement, along with the kind of complicated CRA form has been submitted. Don't panic, your lawyer can help you with all of that. So you see, it's not very different from the end user to the investor. The end user has to prove that they live there and must live there for 1 year at least, whereas the investor has to prove that the property is rented out for at least a year. So basically, the new property has to be someone's principal home for the first year of ownership. And lastly, both the end user and the investor can apply for the HST rebate up to a maximum of 2 years after closing. After the 2 years are up, you're no longer eligible to apply for the rebate and you stand to lose that entire $24,000. Question number 3. How is the HST rebate calculated? Full disclosure, I suck at math, and honestly, I myself am yet to get a handle on how it's really calculated. So I went to my best friend Google, and after some research, I was able to figure out the basic calculation of the rebate. So here it is. When you buy a new home, you pay 13% HST, which actually consists of 2 parts, 8% PST, provincial part, and 5% GST, which is a federal portion. The rebate is a combination of the portion of both the GST and the PST. The province has tried to make it very simple. In their generosity, they will give you 75% of the PST portion back. There's a caveat. They are only willing to let go of $24,000. So even though they say that you will get 75% of the PST back, it's only to a max of $24,000, and that's it. So if 75% comes to, let's say, $70,000, too bad, so sad. You are only getting $24,000. On the other hand, I can see why they keep that cap, because if a person had to fork out 75% of the PST at closing and then wait to get it back from CRA after 2 or 3 months, I don't know. Would you buy a pre-construction property then? Then comes GST. Now, they promise to give you back 36% of the federal portion if your home costs $350,000 or less. If it's between $350,000 and $400,000, then there's a sliding scale. But if unfortunately your house is more than $450,000, then you do not get any money back from this federal portion. I mean, let's face it, $350,000 with today's prices, I think the federal government missed an extra zero, don't you? So that leads us to the final question my clients have asked. How much is the HST rebate? Seeing how the new homes are priced and seeing how there's a cap on the rebate, and you are aware new homes start in, let's say, how do the builders put it? Oh yeah, high 600s, and you rush and it's this tiny studio apartment, so it's barely 500 square feet listed for $699, $990. You might as well have just said $700,000. So that leaves you getting a zero back from the federal government. So that's out. So we shift our attention to the provincial side, and they so generously give you back 24,000, which you have to pay first in order to complete the entire HST calculation to then get it back as the HST rebate. So my friends, don't complicate your life like how I always do. Just remember, buying a home on an assignment as an end user or buying a home as an investor, you have to fork out the HST rebate portion at the time of closing to a maximum of $24,000, and you can apply to get it back, but it takes around 3 to 4 months. So if you found value and liked this video and would like to see more content, click on the boxes on the screen. Once again, my name is Preeti Rao and my contact information is in the description box below. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to call me because I hold the key that opens the door to your dream home.